praised again and explain how we fall in love with Guru Gurbani, how we can fall in love with Guru Sahib even more. They resonate Guru Sahib within them. From them we see Guru Sahib. By looking upon them, by gazing upon them, being inspired by them, at their feet. I fall in love with them. I get inspired every element. We find that Jah inside of us. Love with Gurbani, how we can fall in love with Guru Sahib even more. By Gurdas ji dekh man chao thanda tina gur sikha Satguru by looking upon them, by gazing upon them, these Guru Sikhs fall at their feet. Throughout history, I fall in love with them. I get inspired every their lives are such that by meeting Guru Sahib, by becoming one with Guru Sahib, they've completely lost their own being. They've lost their own home. They don't exist within their own entity, in their own identity anymore. Throughout history, we praise. They are living their lives are such. That's how we remember them. That by when I was meeting Guru Sahib, by becoming one with Guru Sahib, I was blessed. They've completely with lost the opportunity to have darshan of these three Guru Sikhs. They've lost their own. And when they don't this tragic accident within happened, their own entity, in their own identity, grade 4 at the time. They're praised. They are living, walking Guru Sikh. The Guru Sikhs were remembering, hearing about when I was young that were coming to Calgary. I was blessed for Nagar with the opportunity to have darshan of these three Guru Sikhs. And then the only thing I can remember is my dad tragic accident happened. Quickly, let's get in the car. We have to drive to Foothills Hospital right away. And I remember, and when we gathered at Foothills Hospital, the Guru Sikhs were coming, hearing about these Guru Sikhs that were coming to Calgary and to Edmonton. And in the lobby, there was many people mourning, many people crying for different seva. And then everybody was speaking to this one my dad saying, who was telling me, quickly, let's get in the car, we have to drive to Foothills Hospital right away. And when we gathered at Foothills Hospital, his arm was broken. We walked into the lobby. You could tell he had cuts all over his face. And in the lobby, there was many people mourning. He was inside of that vehicle that was part of this accident. And I remember when myself being young, all the uncles were asking him questions, and him happily responding with such jardi kala, with such grace on his face, saying that yes, I was sitting in the middle row, in the middle of that row, and Bibi Reena Kaur was sitting on this side, and Bhai Sahib was sitting over here, and these other Guru Sikhs were over here. He himself, being a part of that accident, knowing everything that's happened, with this 18-year-old smiling, I'm guessing he was 18 years old, smiling in the chardi kala that he had on his face. That instilled and it kind of exemplified that in the face of any fear, in the face of any hardship, the Guru Sikhs are unwavered by this. They've lost themselves completely. And just like Bhai Parminder Singh ji, Bibi Reena Kaur ji, and Bhai Charanjit Singh ji, they were this flower that had this fragrance that wasn't only affecting them and they were living in this bliss, but I saw in that 18-year-old boy's eyes that day that what rang, what flavor, what ecstasy that he was actually sitting in, talking to all the uncles and the auntia that were traveling from here in Calgary to go to that hospital and see what was happening, what this tragic event was. But Pyareo, that Guru Sikh, I still remember his face today. To me, that meant pure bliss, unwaveringness. It was as if that those Guru Sikhs whose lives I hear of today and growing up, we live in their legacy. It shone through that Guru Sikh's face. Next thing you know, we're climbing up the stairs. We go into a room. And I remember this one saying who was casted over his body, and he was hanging from the hospital bed. We walked in somewhere else, and there we saw the beautiful sister's face, Bibi Reena Kaur, with her face had cuts over, and her body was covered in a white cloth, and Guru Sikhs are sitting outside. One Guru Sikh is consoling the rest of the Sangat, saying to recite Gurbani. Some people are reading Chaupai Sahib da Path, some people or reading other Bani. There is sorrow, yet within this sorrow at that moment, there were certain specks that were shining. That moment for myself, knowing these Gursikhs, having seen them, but then learning about what their life meant and how inspired thousands of people. Pyareo sachi gal hai, Gursikhs never leave. Gursikhs are always present. And those Gursikhs, Satgur nu mil aap gawaya, jinnah ne aap Guru nu mil ke, they met Guru Sahib and they completely lost themselves. Pyareo, home man dies. The ego dies, the body dies, the mind's thoughts, the furne, they come and they go, they die. Pyareo, that jot, that light within, that will never die. And that's why that love is felt for these Gursikhs today, and it will always be felt. There's those Gursikhs that were part of the accident during that time, and they were showing me the cuts that they had on their legs. Yet some of them weren't injured, some were severely injured. But even in their face, it was as if that fragrance or something that wasn't as false as we perceive the world to be, or the emotions and the relationships of the world to see, that was touching these Gursikhs, and it might have been coming from the fragrance of Gursikhs that they have met in their lives, the Gursikhs that they've done sangat of, or they've learned from. But I felt it that day, just in grade 4. Throughout our lives, we search for Gursikhs, we search for this guidance, we find ourselves lost. But Pyareo, जिन्हां ने एहो जे गुरसिखां दी संगत कीती है, they know that just by coming into their presence, their heart is cooled, their mind is cooled. You find the coolness that you've been searching for your entire life just by sitting in their fragrance. And just sometimes, myself, I know I do this, and a lot of Gursikhs that I speak to, they will do this. They'll gaze upon the photographs, the pictures of such Gursikhs, and they'll find the coolness in their heart. Tina dekh man chaho thanda, hon kad pai gunatasa. Sachi gal hai, inne gun. The talents, the pyar. People speak about it. You can watch the documentaries that the Gursikhs have made. Pyareo sachi gal hai, Gursikhan da jeevan, Gursikhan da itihas sun ke hi Guru de naal judya janda hai. And that's why when we look at these Gursikhs and their lives, Pyareo, hon sadke tina Gursikhan karan udasi andar maya. They're not attached to anything whilst living. This is the state of the mind that Bhai Gurdas Ji explains of Gursikhs, of how selfless they really are. Bhai Parminder Singh Ji, always going out, any carriage that they would do, any task that they would take on, it wasn't their own task. There was nothing in it for themselves. When we read the lives of Sant Jarnail Singh Ji Khalsa Pindaran Wale, we read the lives of Bhai Sahib Bhai Rantir Singh Ji, we read the lives of Bhai Taru Singh Ji, Baba Deep Singh Ji, we read the lives of great many Gursikhs, Pyareo. Sachi gal hai, there's one thing is common amongst them all, that they're never looking to gain for themselves. Apna nij da swarat kade nahi hunda. They'll never do something for their own gain. Instead, they'll give financial, they'll give energy, time, sacrifice their relations. They'll give everything just to have the panth succeed, just to give more to the Guru. Karan udasi andar maya, sachi gal hai, ek Gursikhan ne vi, they lived within this maya. Eh maya de vich reh ke hi unna ne udasi hasil kiti. They gained the padvi of udas, of detachment. They were detached while living in this world. Everyone is attached to friends and family. We perceive the world to be what the world tells us we are. That you are a young woman, you're a young boy. They identify you, and we connect ourselves with these labels. Then with these labels, we try to find goals in our life. We want to become rich. We want the American dream. We want our empire, a business empire, or you want to be the most attractive person. You want to be the most well-dressed person. We want to find bliss in life, so we go out hanging out with friends. Sensual pleasures. Itte ras sareer ke keh katnaam nawas. Sachi gal ya, we fall under the vices of our body. But these Gursikhs, while living in this body, they were detached. That's what the life of a Gursikh is. Jede naal Gursikhan de ina de rahe, they can tell you about the great Kautak, that the great miracles that have happened around these Gursikhs' lives. I'm not going to touch on them too much. But one thing that Bhai Parminder Singh Ji said, their bachan, that resonated with me growing up and kind of shaped my way on the outlook of life when I went to go and do Sangat of other Mahapurkhs, is they said this bachan, that if somebody growing up lived their life in according to Gursikhi, did their Nitnem every single day, read Gurbani, did Sangat, refrained from the Bajr Kureta, the 4 restrictions for the code of conduct of the Khalsa, they refrained from them, refrained from vices. They continued learning Vidya and reading more and more Gurbani. By the age of 21, you can reach enlightenment very easily. Now we know in Gurbani, we look at the enlightened beings, these Brahmagyani Mahapurkhs of Dhruv and Prahlad. We look at great young beings. But pyareo, jada Mahapurkh hunda na, when they say a bachan, that bachan is towards the person that's receiving it. A lot of times today we like to generalize. Somebody says a word, and that word or that statement, we try to apply it to every single person on this globe. And we say, well, what if it's not going to work in this situation or this situation? And we try to doubt it in different ways. All of these things are true, but when Bhai Parminder Singh Ji, they're doing prachar to a certain niche and a certain diaspora, and they're looking at these Gursikhs, knowing these struggles that the Gursikhs might be growing up and facing today. When they see these struggles, they're explaining and they're knowing them. Pyareo, jeda ponchya hoya purush hunda, the being that has reached a certain state of being, they're able to look at another person and see their lake. They're able to look through the person inside out, pyareo, with the illusion eyes, with a doubtful eye, with a lost eye that we are living in, or seeing the world with. This eye looks at the person's body, and we might see lust, we might see anger, we might see ego. We see somebody to have a fight with. ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਜੋਤ ਦਿਸਦੀ ਹੈ. They're able to see Guru Sahib Sache Paatshah's light inside of them. And also, with a being living inside of ignorance, living inside of home, there's a lot of karma attached. Gursikhan ਨੂੰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ to how to help them. They are able to identify the disease and they're able to provide them with the cure. That person is truly a Vaid, considered to be a true doctor. Rog daru dove bujhe ta Vaid sujan. That person is a doctor and somebody who is able to identify the disease and provide the cure. Let me give the example. Let's say your stomach is hurting. You go to a doctor prescribes you pills for knee pain. You're going to say that this does not remove my pain. This doesn't solve my problem. Pyareo, these bachans of Bhai Parminder Singh and the prachar that we listen to and how they were teaching the world, that was guiding exactly who they were speaking to, the problems that they had and the steps that they needed to take in order to reach that avastha. And that's why these bachans resonate with us today. And these words that they said, that gave hope, that gave opportunity. It was motivating. Ki jao Gursikhan di sangat karo, Mahapurkhan di sangat karo. Never let go of your Nitnem. When you look at the faces of these Gursikhs, You don't see influence of negativity pulling towards the sansar. Nahi, karan udasi andar maya. While living in this world, sachi galya, they are completely udas. They've detached themselves. And when we look at what their actual focus is, where their prem is, where their goal is, they're giving gurmat gur charni chitlaya hom sadke tina gur sikha gurmat gur charni chitlaya. Their focus is only on Guru Sahib Sache Paatshah's teachings. Oh aap sikhde ne, oh aap sikhaunde ne. You look at them, you see them as saints, you see them as a loving friend, you see them as a warrior. Ek gun, they inspire, but not in a worldly sense. If Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji was a warrior, they weren't a warrior in the sense of Alexander the Great or in the sense of UFC fighters. Nahi pyareo, eh Jodha, this is a different class of warrior. This is a different class of surbirta, a fighting spirit. Because this class is immortal. When we speak about different warriors, their focus might be on glory. Their focus might be on a championship. Their focus might be on success and winning, a victory. But this spirit, this warrior spirit that we see through people of these Gursikhs like Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji, pyareo, their physical body may not be here today, but pyareo, that warrior spirit is igniting hearts even till today. That's why when we look and read the lives of Baba Deep Singh Ji, it ignites the Khalsa Panth once again. You listen to the Ityas of Baba Bidhi Chand Ji, you listen to the Ityas of Baba Vichitar Singh Ji, that ignites, it grows that love. Sun Saki Man Jap Pyar. You listen to the beautiful Kirtan. She wasn't a musician like any musician singing today of false worlds. मेरे मोहन श्रवणी एना सुनाए साकत गीत नाद तो नगावत बोलत बोल अजाए. Don't listen to songs and false words, pyareo. These words sung by Panji, they hit hearts, they pull the strings of Gursikh's hearts today, and they intune that heart in the same love that she was experiencing. That is immortal. Other music may or may not be able to do that. I don't know. But Sachi Galya, her words were able to do that. When we look at the concentration, the focus of Bhai Sahib Bhai Parminder Singh Ji, this great being, this Mahampurkh, this beacon of light, every focus in their life, every word that they said was absolutely, completely a push, a direction, a boost. Gave Chal Mere Veera, Chal Meri Bhain, oh my brother, oh my sister, look how easy this path is, jump into it, just dive into it. It almost felt like Bhai Parminder Singh's words would come and embrace you, and they would pull your heart and console you to make all of these difficult paths, the hurdles that you are facing inside of your mind, one by one removing them. Say that no, look at this path, look at this love of the Guru. Sachi Galya, walk this path one step at a time, and Guru Sahib takes thousands of steps towards you. Bhai Parminder Singh's words were like Guru Sahib running thousands of steps towards you. I don't know about anybody else, but Gur Mat Gur Charni Chitlaya, that their focus, their concentration was always on Guru Sahib, and on the focus upon the beautiful lotus feet of Guru Sahib Sache Paatshah. Those blessings, they worked through them. Hon sadke tina Gursikha. And that's why when we look at these beautiful Gursikhs, Bhai Gurdas Ji also explains, Gursikh de Gursikh Malaya. They had the Gursikhi. They had the Guru Sikhya. They had the teachings. They spent time. It takes effort. You want to learn a new instrument, pyareo. You want to go and learn a new subject. You spend months and months and you read textbooks, and sometimes you still cannot consider yourself a master. But pyareo, it takes lifetimes and lifetimes of bhakti to be able to achieve the seva, achieved the state that these Gursikhs had achieved. That's why Sache Pacha, Bhai Gurdas ji, they're explaining Gursikh de, Gursikh Malaya, O Guru di Sikhya dinde sige. They had the Guru Sikhya, they gave the Guru Sikhya to others, and they connected others to Guru Sahib themselves. They connected the Guru and the Sikh by giving the Guru Sikhya. You cannot connect anybody to such a divine state, something beyond the world, beyond these elements, beyond your physical, chemical worldview of the creation of life or the makeup of life. You cannot see it through any other lens. But this connection that these Gursikhs provided to the world, provided to us in Canada, North America, and the world, they had this Sikhya, this love. It was coming from somewhere divine. It was so powerful, you cannot make this connection in any other way. And the truth is, once this connection is made, once they gave this connection, those people that they touched, that they inspired, tori na tuta, shori na shuta, aisi mado khinchtani, that love is so tight, you can break it, you can try to cut it, you can light it on fire, you can tear it apart, but this love is inseparable. And Sachi Galya, these Gursikhs and Paramatma, they're inseparable as well. They're the form of love that we look upon for inspiration. Ho sadke tina Gursikha bahar janda varj rahaya. Pyareo Bhai Gurdas ji is explaining that sadke jama, I sacrifice myself. Balihare jama, I salute these great Gursikhs, I bow down to them, who can control the thoughts of their mind, control the furne of their mind. And in their mind, our mind, we always want to go out for vices. We see something and we chase it. Rupa kama hai dosti. We see something and we chase after it. We see something, we desire it. Our mind has so many thoughts being born and dying every second. There's something pyareo jadon aapa vidya padhde hain, it's called Samagam adik. Sam da matlab eh hai कि अपने मन नू, मन दे फुरनियां नू विकारां वाले पासे तो रोकना, stopping your mind from going after vices. And dam meaning stopping your body, stopping your physical body, your hands and your feet, your indre, from going towards vices. And in this way they were so disciplined, they were transformed, almost as if you take a rock, you cut it and you shape it. The person that's shaping this rock is Guru Sahib themselves, disciplined, molded into such a perfect entity that's shining light, a beacon of light upon this world, that's enlightening many others across the world. Just by a story of something, sometimes you hear about them. That's the power of Gursikhi. Their lives were this representation. You see a picture of them, that is inspiring. You hear the Kirtan, you see a video, that inspires you. Because they were not wavering, their mind was not wavering. They controlled their mind and their body from going towards vices. Bahar janda, their mind that wants to go outside, bahar janda varj rahaya, they had molded themselves into the complete concentration. And this is where Bhai Gurdas ji, they explain how sadke tina Gursikha asa vich niras valaya, that while focusing all their hopes, all their support in this world was only Guru Sahib, and Guru Sahib grabs onto them. If you place your hopes in the world, guess what? The world is not going to be there forever. The sansar, the worldly opinions, your fashion trends, what the next trend on Instagram is, none of these things will stay with you. Pyareo, follow the trend that is immortal. Follow the trend that will live even when all other trends do not exist anymore. That love of Paramatma that's experienced today, Pyareo, these Gursikhs, they were experiencing this, and they were niras, they were indifferent, they were not attached to any other hope or dream or support in this entire world. This is why Satgur da Updesh Dridaya. They had instilled these Guru Sikhya, the command of Guru Sahib inside of their life. They're walking this path. They walk this path and they're a beacon of light. This is why we are qurban to these Gursikhs. Jo Gur ka paana hai, Gursikh challiya. They walk this path in this Guru's Pana, in this Guru's will, and this path is so intuitive. You recite God's name, Paramatma da naam jap ke, Guru di vidya le ke, eho je Gursikh sadhuan nu samarpit ho ke, you sacrifice yourselves, you find guidance, you find focus, you never look back. And that catch, that tang, that pull of love towards Guru Sahib Pyareo, it'll detach of the world and it'll attach you to something, this bliss, this Paramatma, which you won't even realize you're intuitively by reciting Paramatma's name, by focusing your concentration upon Paramatma, you'll intuitively become a part of it. So ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖਾਂ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. The more you bow down to them, it'll never be enough. ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, we remember these Gursikhs' lives today. They always will be remembered. What we should take out of this is inspiration to say that if they were able to walk this path, look, then why can't I? Why can't I walk in their footsteps? Sant ki gail na chhodiye, marag laga pao. Never let go of the path, the tracks that these Gursikhs laid out for us. So pyareo, ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਬੇਨਤੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰਵਾਨ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ while speaking, while talking. I've made many mistakes. If I've said anything wrong, please consider me your younger brother and forgive me. ਤੇ ਅਸੀਸਾਂ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀਆਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਗੱਜ ਵੱਜ ਕੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਬੁਲਾਓ ਜੀ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. Thank you to Bhai Harman Singh Ji of Basics of Sikhi for sharing their Gurmat Vichar with us for the first half an hour. Next, until 12 o'clock, our Gatha Darbar will continue approximately. I think we will always remember, and the Panth will forever be indebted to the Sangat of Calgary. Bhai Harman Singh Ji reminded us of that time, of the accident, and how ikmut ho ke sangta ne vad chad ke seva kiti Calgary de vich. So we'll always be grateful and thankful to the Gursikhs of Calgary who came together at that difficult time and banded together to do seva. And Bhai Harman Singh Ji reminded us of that and the importance of Gursikhs and the inspiration especially that Bhai Parminder Singh Ji had on their life and the seva that they do now. So following this track, from Toronto, from Experience Sikhi, we have Bibi Jasmine Kaur, who is going to be doing Gurmat Vichar for approximately a half an hour. Following that, Guru Nanak Academy de Sevadar Bhai Pradeep Singh Ji, who has been a Sevadar at Guru Nanak Academy for many years, pretty much since the first day. So, a great friend of Bhai Parminder Singh Ji, who will also be doing Gurmat Vichara. So, following Bibi Jasmine Kaur, so right now Bibi Jasmine Kaur for takriban adhe ਘੰਟੇ ਲਈ Gurmat Vichara ਦੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਭਰਨ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾਲਤਾ ਕਰਨੀ. ਬੀਬੀ ਜੈਸਮੀਨ ਕੌਰ ਜੀ from Experience Sikhi, ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. So is this working correctly?
Yes, it is.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to start off with doing Mool Mantar and then we'll get going from there. एक ओंकार सतनाम आद सच जुगाद सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निरभौ निर्वैर अकाल मूरत अजूनी सैभं गुर प्रसादे जप आदि सच जुगादि सच है पी सच नानक होसी पी सच दंडौत बंधन अनेक बार सर्ब कला समरथ डोलन ते राखो प्रभु नानक दे कर हथ वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह. So we're very blessed by Vaheguru that even in times where we can't physically be at the Gurdwara, we can still connect virtually. Thanks to the grace of Vaheguru and thanks to the grace of Vaheguru and thanks to Paneet Singh Ji GNA and everybody that's watching and everybody that's for giving me the seva, for giving me the seva at the Barsi Samagam today at the Barsi Samagam. I didn't know the three Gursikhs. I didn't know the three Gursikhs by Bibirina Gaur and Bibirina Gaur and Charanjit Singh personally. But I have met a lot of people. I have met a lot of people and learned a lot about and how they've impacted other people and how they've impacted. And I have to say that they're not only gems for the they're not only gems, but they're particularly gems for they're particularly gems for the Sikh they've inspired so many Sikhs that are living outside of India. Many Sikhs that are living outside of India, Canada, the US, particularly all across Canada, the US, the UK. So they're gems in that respect. So they're gems in that respect. As I was learning about them, and as I was what I've heard from other people, and what I've heard from other people, I do find a similarity between the three. I do find a similarity between the three. That is very awe-inspiring. It's and very awe-inspiring. That all three of them similarity share that all three of them energetic they share something called an energetic or a vibrant calmness or a vibrant. And now that calmness seems like and now that's two different things at the same time: a vibrant and energetic, but calm and grounded at the same time. The calmness and the groundedness amongst the three that I've seen comes from the fact that they've taken on Vairag, they've taken on the Guru's Panth, they've taken on the Guru's path, and they've shunned the world aside to realize that there's something more to be going after. So that's the Vairag part. But a lot of the times, every single person, I believe, at some point of time, does undergo some type of vairag. But a lot of the times, it ends up stagnant, and nothing much is done about it. But the reason that they were vibrantly calm, or that they were energetically grounded, was because along with their vairag, there was an effort that they made. There was an energy that they had. I especially saw that energy in Bhai Charanjit Singh, the way they stood, the way that they commanded everybody around them. Bhai Sahib Ji also had that. Bhai Parminder Singh Ji also had that energetic, that aura around them that they commanded everybody, and so did Bibi Reena Kaur Ji. So the reason I mention this is, especially today, this is very important. A lot of us are dealing with our own issues, and sometimes we feel like, yes, Maharaj says this world is it's false, it's mithya, it's a dream, nothing really matters, and sometimes we stagnate there. But to look up to these Gursikhs, they didn't stagnate. They in fact put effort. There was an energy that despite all of that, we're going to do something about it. And the reason I mentioned this is, yesterday was Buddha Purnima, and one of the most inspiring Sakhis that I know of is one of the Buddhas. The Buddha Siddhartha was a king for all their life, and they had never left their kingdom. But I mean, the story is really long. Once they actually had left their kingdom, they underwent this type of vairag. We call it vairag, and their samprada, they call it samveg. And they saw all of these sights that they'd never seen before: death, sickness, illness, and in general, completely the opposite of the luxuries of a palace. And they also saw a saint sitting underneath a tree meditating. And he was asking his charioteer, what is all of this? What is death? What is illness? What is sickness? Do all of these things happen to people? And the charioteer said, yes, they do. And then who's that person sitting under the tree? That person is meditating, so that even if there is pain in the world, there's a way to get out of it. And so not only is there Virag and Samveg, but it's also accompanied by another trait called Pasada, which means a serene confidence that even despite the fact that this world is an illusion, despite all of the pains, despite all of the consequences that we have to face, there is a way to get out. And so I see that Samveg, that Pasad, that Virag plus Uddam in these three Gursikhs, which is very inspiring. And it's something we should look to have in our lives as well. And the reason that I say that Virag plus effort is so important is because there are three defects of the mind that have to be overcome in order for one to get enlightened. And the reason I'm mentioning these three defects is the solutions to these three defects I have seen these three Gursikhs implement in their lives. So if we can be inspired by these Gursikhs and implement those three solutions to the three defects, we can also overcome those defects. Now, this is I learn Brahm Vidya, and so this is something I love to talk about. The three mental challenges in the spiritual process. One is called Mal, the second one is called Vikep, and the third one is called Avaran. Mal, Vikep, and Avaran. So Mal, if you recognize it, it's the word for dirt, and it represents all of the pap, all of the negative karmic substance that has been accumulating not only in this lifetime but in lifetimes before. So it's all of this negative karmic substance that has imprinted itself on the mental layer on our mind. So that's the number one defect of the mind. And so what does Mal do? Mal makes it very difficult for us to realize or prioritize truth over untruth. We are happy with the status quo. We're not really interested in Guru Granth Sahib Ji. We're not really interested in the Guru's way. We're not interested in enlightenment. We don't like Sad Sangat, don't like doing Kirtan. All of this disinterest in just the blatant realities of your life, this disinterest is caused by that first defect of the mind, which is called Mal. The second defect of the mind is called Vikshep. Vikshep literally means chanchalta. Or in English, we can call it distortion. So if the mind is like a field, the number one defect, Mal, was it's dirty, it's unclear. The second defect is it's always moving around. It's vibrating, it's always desiring. Even if a person is interested, when you sit down and you do Simran, your mind is over here, it's over here, it's over here, it's over here. It's never in one place. It's never focused. Vikshep or distortion also means that you do not put your foot down at one place and continue to dig. People tend to give up after doing a little bit of, let's say you start to do Simran and you've done it for, let's say, a week, and now you're saying, let me try something else. Let me do something else. And then you do that for a week, and then you say, let me try something else. This consistently jumping from one thing to another, that is the second defect of the mind. And not only that, desiring things, even the fact that in the diaspora, we have absolutely everything that we need. Even amid the coronavirus, for example, now, we are very, very lucky to still have a home, to still be fed, all of these things. But despite that, and this is very true, especially in the Western realms, that despite having everything, we still desire for more. So this is the second defect of the mind, which is called vikshep. And the third defect of the mind is avaran, which is fundamental ignorance. That fundamental ignorance does not let us realize who we actually are. So that's where Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji says, Jan Nanak bin apa chine mite na pram ki kai. The third layer, the avaran, is the very thing that doesn't let the mind realize who it actually is. Maharaj in Guru Granth Sahib Ji says, Man, tu jot saroop hai, apna mool pachan. But the fact that this mind doesn't do that is a third defect of the mind. So these three defects, mal, vikshep, and avaran, why did I mention them? Because the solution to these three defects is found in how these three gurmukhs lived their lives. Mal, the pap in our head, in our mental field, the solution to mal is nishkam seva. The solution to vikshep is bhakti and simran, and the solution to avaran is gyan. This has been the systematic way, and by the way, these teachings have been taught in the Taksals by Mani Singh Ji's Taksal, Baba Deep Singh Ji's Taksal. This has been taught in the Nanak Sar Samprada, and the Udasin Sampradas, and the Nirmal Sampradas. So this has been the teachings that have systematically laid out what we are to do in a spiritual process. So the first one was med, mandi med. That, the solution to mal is nishkam seva. And the word nishkam is very important there. In the karmic substance creation process, how do you create karma? One of the pivotal things that you need to create karma is you need to have a sense of doership. You can only create karma if you realize you are doing it. Doership, or what we call karta bhav, is required for karma to be made. When we start to undergo nishkam seva, and we start doing seva not for anything of ours to be fulfilled, and we start doing seva thinking that I am not doing this, Guru Maharaj is making me do this. We hear this a lot. But the reason why it's this way, why Maharaj tells us to get rid of karta bhav in the first place, is when you get rid of that sense of doership, you not only stop creating new karma, you start to decrease the grip of your old karmic substance as well. So the old karma that you have piled up, and then that loses its grip, and the new karma that you're creating, you're being a little bit more aware of what you're doing. If you're doing everything, dedicating it to Guru Sahib Ji, then it's going to be really hard to do something wrong and say, well, Guru Sahib Ji did that as well. Right? So that sense of doership is going, and I see that in the way Bhai Parminder Singh Ji on their stage, when they did Katha, they always say that I'm not speaking, the Guru is making me speak. The fact that they gathered the youth, the fact that GNA came out of it, all of that came under Nishkam Seva. Because I don't think a single person would say that Bhai Parminder Singh says that I'm doing this for myself, or I want something out of this. That was completely Nishkam Seva. And if you look at them, they have a vibrance, they have a jump in the way that they are, because that meant that mal layer is a little bit, its grip on them is lower. Right? And I see the same thing, Nishkam Seva, coming from Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji as well. The akhadas that they set up in BC, Toronto, and the UK, all of that came as Nishkam Seva. They didn't want anything in return for it. They did it out of the sheer love of the Guru. You can tell when they're reciting their poetry, they're light and they're vibrant. It's like a fish right through water. It's like a knife right through butter. They're vibrant because they're like, I'm not doing this. This is for my Guru. The jo hoga, ta hoga. They're not caring about what the result is going to be, because I'm doing this for my Guru, then the result is also going to be determined by the Guru. So they flow through life very nicely when that sense of doership is lowered. And then the second thing, the second defect of the mind was vikshep. Vikshep is distortion or chanchalta. desiring, always moving. The mind is always moving. This vikape, the solution to vikape is 1, a meditative process, such as Simran. And number 2 is devotion, bhakti, prema bhakti. And I see this in Bibi Reena Kaurji. Forgive me for saying her name as Reena, like I see the spelling and I want to say it that way, but Bibi Reena Kaur, when she's doing kirtan, when she's remembering the Guru, when she's doing Simran, that aspect is now starting to, that hiltal, that up and down, the wavering of the mind is stilled when you enter a Simran process, a meditative process. When we continue to do Simran, Vaheguru, 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 as the Sikhs do, or maybe the Hindus do Ram, Ram, or Govind, Govind, or the Sufis do Allahu, Allahu. When you connect to Naam, for example, when you connect to a mantra, your mind's distortions start to level out a little bit. It becomes calmer. And the second defect is then taken care of, right? And then there's bhakti and devotion also comes into the same thing. If you've ever, I'm sure a lot of you that are watching have felt some sense of bhakti towards the Guru. In those moments that you're crying or you're completely, you want to give everything up for the Guru, in those moments, watch your mind. It's very still. In the moment that you say, Maharaj, when you're crying in Vairag, at that moment, your mind is not desiring anything else. So those are the technical ways that the mind field is then leveled out. The second defect of the mind is corrected through Simran and through Bhakti. And there's actually 9 types of Bhakti that the Srimad, the Bhagavad Mahapuran talks about. And that's Shravan, I'm sure you guys have heard about this before, Shravan, Kirtan, Simran, Pad Sevanam, etc. And so this 9 types of bhakti, I see that when Bibi Reena Kaurji does Kirtan, she's doing the second type of bhakti that is listed as the 9 gems of Prema Bhakti. Kirtan is one of them. So all of you out there, if you can't do Kirtan, then definitely listen to Kirtan. Especially in Guru Granth Sahib Ji, it is known as a diamond way to do Bhakti. Kaljug mein hai Kirtan Pardana. Addition to that, out of the 9 types of Bhaktis, Das Bhav Rakhna. Das Bhav means to always be a servant for Vaheguru, to always be a servant of the Guru. And I see that type of bhakti displayed in Bhai Parminder Singh Ji and Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji. They always say that Mata Das and Guru Sahib Ji da. Right? So that type of, but a very interesting type of bhakti that I see displayed in Bibi Reena Kaur. I was watching a video about her, and somebody, I think it was her friend, was saying that Reena always used to talk to Guru Sahib Ji as if Guru Sahib Ji was her friend. And Sakhi Bhav is, I think, the 7th or 8th in that 9 types of bhakti. To think of your Guru as your friend. This is the same type of bhakti that Arjuna had towards Krishna Ji. This is the same type of bhakti that Bhai Mardana Ji had towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Think about it. If you've heard any of their stories, Bhai Mardana Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji would often tease Bhai Mardana Ji. They would often, Guru Nanak Dev Ji wouldn't eat for so long, and then Bhai Mardana Ji would say, okay, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, just because you don't get hungry doesn't mean I don't get hungry. Come on, I need food. And then Guru Nanak Dev Ji would joke around with them. That type of bhakti is called Sakhi Bhav Rakhna. Towards your Guru, towards Vaheguru, to think of them as your friend. What's the benefit of this bhakti? Towards a best friend who you really, really love, you reveal all of your secrets to them. You reveal all of your inner hidden problems very easily to them. When you start to think of Guru Sahib Ji as your friend, it's very easy then to let go of, Maharaj, this is my problem, this is how I am, this is how I am. Very easy to say it to them. I made so many mistakes. I even make this mistake every day. And then you can see, you feel Guru Sahib Ji is laughing and they're forgiving me. That type of bhav. And so Bibi Reena Kaur Ji, always thinking of Guru Maharaj as their friend, displayed this type of bhakti as well. And with these types of devotions and simran, they help solve the second defect of the mind, which was vikep. And then the third defect of the mind, which is the most difficult to get rid of. And actually, the Shastras say that the first two defects, mal and vikep, a person has somewhat of a hand in getting rid of them. You can do something about it. Everybody that's listening, we can all do Simran, we can all do Nishkam Seva. But the third defect is completely out of our hands. The third defect is solved through Gyan, Shuddha Gyan, which we call Shabad Guru. It's also called Brahm Vidya or Kidi Vidya, Brahm Di Vidya, the knowledge of truth. Or, for example, Gyan Anjan Gur Diya, Agyan Ander Binas, Har Kirpa Te Sant Petya, Nanak Man Pargas. The third defect is solved when Vaheguru themselves comes in the form of a sant and then gives that Vidya of Brahm to a aspirant who is now ready to receive it. So actually, majority of the spiritual process is the first two, Seva and Simran. Bhakti jada karo, bhakti che jada jor hai. Because once those two have been solved, the third one springs forth naturally. Vaheguru themselves goes on and sends them to a sant because now they're ready to receive the very last Brahm Vidya. And when I talk about Brahm Vidya, this is the type of Vidya that Krishnji has talked about in Gita. They've said, Adhyatam Vidya Vidyanam. If anything is to be called Vidya, it's only the Vidya of the Adhyatam. The inner Vidya is the only thing that can be considered Vidya. Everything else is avidya, not worthy of learning. In Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj talks about Gur Prasadi Vidya Vichare, Pad Pave Man, Apa Made Ap Paragasya Paya Amrit Nam. So look at this. Whenever Maharaj has talked highly of Vidya or Brahm Gyan, they've also added in a clause that Vidya that enlightens the self. Apa Made Ap Paragasya Paya Amrit Nam. So that Vidya is then given, that the knowledge of truth is then given, and then that final layer, the third defect, which was ignorance, is then completely destroyed. Once the third defect is taken care of, enlightenment happens, and Mahaprakash and emergence with Vaheguru happens. So these three things, and the reason I mentioned that is I heard by Charanjit Singh, who comes from the Dant Mitak lineage, which was really literally responsible for giving this Brahm Vidya to the aspirants that were ready. I saw them in a video saying that everybody should be learning Brahm Vidya. Everyone should be respecting Vidya and making sure that they're learning about that inner self. So with that said, I'm just going to quickly check how much time I have. Oh, I realize I'm on my phone. I can't really check the time. Well, hopefully I'm still good with time. I'm going to just continue. I just wanted to end off with one, I guess you can call it a Sakhi of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, because the three things that I talked about primarily, three things that I see in these three Gurmukhs can be attributed all to Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. What I mean is, when I see Bhai Parminder Singh Ji sitting on the stage doing katha, they symbolize Brahm Gyan, or that Gyan aspect, the Brahm Vidya aspect. And I see Bibi Reena Kaur Ji doing Kirtan, she represents the Bhakti aspect. And I see Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji taking their Shastras and doing Gatka, they represent the Dharmik Raksha aspect of Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. And the reason I bring that up is because Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji displayed all three of these things throughout their life. When it came to Dharm Di Raksha, they took up a sword, they fought alongside their father, Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji, in the Battle of Kartarpur. And when it came to Dharm Di Raksha, they also stood up for the Kashmiri Pandits. By the way, if you ever want to look into it, the Kashmiri Shaiv tradition is one of the most beautiful gems out there that talks about Advaita. It's slightly different than Vedant, but it has its own most beautiful take on Advaita. And albeit it hasn't really been brought out to the forefront because Kashmir, that region, has really dealt with a lot of identity crises. But if you want to look into it, the Kashmiri Shav tradition, which were the Pandits that Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji vowed to protect from the Mughals, amazing if you want to ever look into them. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji gave Shahidi for Satya, for somebody else's right to practice their faith, so for everybody's right to go towards enlightenment. So that's Dharam Di Raksha. Number 2, Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji spent 26 plus years in Apora Sahib doing bhakti, doing dhyan. After they were married, 26 years inside of a pora, inside of a cave, doing bhakti, that is not a small feat. But they displayed bhakti at that level. And then, Brahm Vidya and Brahm Gyan. I know I shouldn't say this, but I absolutely love Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji's Bani. I love all of the Guru's Bani. But when I read Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji's Bani and Guru Nanak Dev Ji's Bani, I light up. Because almost, I would say, I don't even know how to give this a percentage, but a majority percentage of their Bani is all Brahm Gyan. It's all Brahm Vidya. One of my favorite Shabads in Guru Granth Sahib Ji is a Shabad by Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, which they literally talk about Brahm Vidya. They say, Kahe reban khojan jai, sarb nivasi sada alepa tohi sang samahi, pohap mad jo bas basat hai, mukar mahe jaisi chai, taise hi har basi nirantar kat hi khojo pai. Look within yourselves. You remember those 3 defects I told you about? They're actually mentioning them through a metaphorical relation there, that mukar mahe jaise chai. Quickly, the 3 defects that we talked about: mal, vikep, and avaran. Pretend that you're standing in front of your bathroom mirror, and the mirror is dirty, very dirty. That would represent mal. Number 2, the mirror is bent. And now the reflection that you're seeing is distorted. That represents vikep. And number 3, avaran. Imagine you stood in front of this mirror for 1 lifetime, 2 lifetimes, 3, 4, 5, hundreds of lifetimes. You stood in front of this mirror thinking that you were the reflection. This entire time you thought you were the reflection. The mirror was dirty and it was distorted, and all you kept identifying with was the reflection. That would be the number 3 thing. Remember how Marat says, Man tu jot sarup hai apna mool pachan? Hey man, you're not the reflection, you're the one standing in front of the mirror. Mukar mahe, mukar means mirror, jaise chai, chai means reflection. And so the fact that Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji mentions all of this Siddhant in basically just 1 line, it boggles my mind. I absolutely love it. So Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji represents what they've done in their life, giving Brahm Gyan through their Shabad, demonstrating bhakti and very tivar bhakti. And number 3, Dharam Di Raksha, when it came time to stand up for the Dharam as well. And these 3 Gursikhs have done that as well. By Parminder Singh Ji having done Katha and connecting the youth with English Prachar, which was very, very necessary and has inspired so many Kathavachaks today who speak in English, including myself. Virina Kaur Ji, when we look at her, she represents that bhakti and that drive to continue forward and love Maharaj. And Bhai Charanjit Singh Ji represents continuing that ladi of Gatka and Shastra Vidya, and so that we can be ready for Dharam Di Raksha whenever it's required. So I just want to end off with the fact that thank you for letting me speak at the Barsi Samagam, but one thing I wanted to point out was everybody can live for themselves. Everybody does live for themselves, but very few people live for something more than themselves. And these 3 Gursikhs have lived for something beyond them. I always think of trees. They give out fruit, but they never eat the fruit themselves. They're parupkari. Rivers, They flow, but they never drink the water themselves. They give out the water. ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਭੁੱਖ ਬੁਝਾਉਣੇ ਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਪਿਆਸ ਬੁਝਾਉਣੇ ਆ. And so these 3 Gursikhs have done that. So it's our inspiration to do Nishkam. So what we can do to be, once we're inspired by them, is to do Nishkam Seva, to do Bhakti, and to live for something beyond just ourselves, because every single person lives just for themselves. We should live for something more. So I wish for all of you guys to have Vairag, but also joyful effort to do something about it. And please forgive me for the mistakes I made. Thank you so much to the whole GNA committee and by Paneet Singh ji for letting me speak. Please forgive me for my mistakes. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you very much to Bibi Jasmine Kaur ji from Experience Sikhi. I think we can very much see the legacy of Bhai Parminder Singh ji and their wishes, that they formed Guru Nanak Academy as a place to provide resources for Sikh youth, but also we often say to make pracharaks. And when we listen to Benji's Katha and you hear her level of Vidya, obviously you've learned from many great Gyanis, Singhs, Mahapurushas, and we can hear the seed that Bhai Parminder Singh ji planted is being carried on throughout the entire world. And so we're very fortunate. So thank you, Benji, for sharing your Gurmat Vichara with us. Next we have Bhai Pradeep Singh ji, who is going to be our last Kathavachik for our Katha Darbar. Bhai Pradeep Singh ji, who's been doing Seva Guru Nanak Academy for many years. And I got a message from Paisa that he's having some technical difficulties, but I see that he is here, so this might be a bit of a rocky transition. I apologize, Sazangaji, but I'm trying to add him now, and we'll see if it works out. If not, I might have to disconnect just for a minute while we get Paisa connected. But next we'll have Bhai Pradeep Singh ji for approximately a half an hour to do Gurmat Vichara. So Bhai Sahib, if you've received my request, you just have to accept on your Instagram. So Satsang, it looks like it's not working quite yet. So what I'll do is we will disconnect for just maybe 2, maybe 3 minutes. And Bhai Pradeep Singh ji will give them the password for the Guru Nanak Academy account so they can log in and continue the Duan. So I apologize for the inconvenience. Oh, sorry, 1 second. It looks like it might work again.
ਧਰਮ ਜਪ ਭਗਤ ਨ ਕੀਨੀ। ਸੀਲ ਧਰਮ ਜਪ ਭਗਤ ਨ ਕੀਨੀ। ਹਉ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਟੇਢ ਪਗਰੇ, ਹਉ ਅਭਿਮਾਨ ਟੇਢ ਪਗਰੇ।
हृद में ऐसो जप वसै, सो होए खालसा सब में लसै। आद सच दया संग प्यारे, जुगाद सच बाकी जो चारे। हैप्पी होसी दशमेश सवारे, पी सच चारे लाल दुलारे। श्लोक डंडौत बंधन अनक बार, सर्ब कला समरथ। डोलन ते राखो प्रभु, नानक दे कर हाथ। कहाँ बुद्ध प्रभ तुच्छ हमारी, बरन सके महिमा जो तिहारी। हम न सकत कर सिफत तुम्हारी, आप ले हो तुम कथा सुधारी। तन तन श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब जी। वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। So hopefully all of those people that have been tuning in live have had a beautiful opportunity to listen to Bhai Harman Singh and Bibi Jasmine Kaur. ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਯਤਨ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਂ ਜੀ ਸਮਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਦੇ ਆ that I'll try to open up and give you a little bit of ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਾਂ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਭਗਤੀ ਦੇ ਕਿਰਨ ਜਾਂ ਗੁਰਮਤਿ ਕਿਰਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੇ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰੂੰਗਾ ਪਰ also ਝਲਕ ਵੀ ਦੇਵਾਂਗਾ try to give you a little bit of a flash of like what their lives that I saw with my eyes. When I had opportunity after the funeral I kind of after the funeral by Paraminder Singh Bhai Kaur kyunki Bhai Chanji Singh da jara Sri si we had bathed it and then after they had taken it back to India I wanted to write down experiences I had there, anything that I can learn from. You know, when you're in a learning stage, you want to try to form a structure of everything that you have as experiences. So everything that you have stays intact. Meaning that you basically want to make a vessel. And I started writing things down about Bhai Paraminder Singh because he was the one who inspired me to take Amrit. And there was one sakhi that I heard that I really saw both parallels. Bhai Paraminder Singh is that one time there was a Sikh and Guru Rai Sahib Ji's Darbar ਨਾਂ ਸੀ ਭਾਈ ਸ਼ਾਮੂ ਭਾਈ ਸ਼ਾਮੂ ਨੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਨ ਸੀ and the question was such ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਿਤ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਮਾਂ ਜੀ elaborates on how to become ਸਚਿਆਰ the ਪੰਧ of good ਪਰ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਹਜੇ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਈ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਸਚਿਆਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸਚਿਆਰਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਉਹਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਸ਼ਨ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ that ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਚਿਆਰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣੀਦਾ ਪਰ ਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ they have a bit of confidence to go and talk to people and ask questions and then there's some I think I fit into this category as well is that I don't have that in me I'm very intimidated and then I don't feel like I can approach people. With Bhai Paraminder Singh I was very intimidated all the time as well too. I held him up way up here and then I would just watch him very carefully and what he's doing. And just by watching him, there seem those lines in Gurbani were becoming translated for me about the Gurmukhs, right? About Gurmukh di jehdi rehni te behni and jo vi oh apne jeevan de vich batiit karde a. So what happened is, with Bhai Shammu, the Sangat is getting up now, Diwan di Samapti hoyi, and they're all going, and Guru Har Sahib Ji says, and Bhai Shammu de man de vich oh prashan hai uthi reh gayi te dil kita si ke Guru Maharaj Ji kole jawa, par fir uthi ruk ke kehda nahi maithon nahi ho sakda. So what he does is he stops and he doesn't go forward, and Guru Har Sahib Ji then says, Bhai Shammu kitte chale hain, aao samne aao, sanmukh aao. And Bhai Shammu went before Guru Har Sahib Ji, and then he says, kuch puchna si? And kehde ji Paatshah, main puchna si tonu. And he says, Maharaj Ji mainu eh samjha deo sacyar kiਵੇਂ ਬਣੀਦਾ. And Guru Maharaj Ji at that time says that, do you just want to know the meaning of it, or do you want to become sacyar? And he says that, Maharaj Ji, make me sacyar. That's what I want to become. I want to become sacyar, truthful. I want to be the embodiment of all those virtues that give me your grace. And I honestly believe Bhai Parminder Singh was sacyar. So Bhai Shammu received that grace from Guru Har Sahib Ji. He received it, and his naam de naal hi, जिस तरह भाई पारो परमहंस होया ते कई गुरसिखां नाल जिहड़ी अवस्था सी ਉਹ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਸੀ. Like you have a name and you have a avastha, and they would kind of put it together in a kind of poetic sense. And ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੈ ਗਿਆ ਭਾਈ ਸ਼ਾਮੂ ਸਚਿਆਰ. And ਉਹ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਲਾ ਸਚਿਆਰ ਆ, ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮਿਲ ਗਈ, ਉਹ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਹੀ ਬਾਹਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਡੁੱਲਦੀ ਆ. ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਜ਼ਦੀਕ ਸੀ, those people that were around him, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਮਿਲਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਈ. And that's how it was with Bhai Parminder Singh. His vessel was full of Maharaj Ji's kripa, and it was spilling forward. I'll tell you, as a person who's trying to find Sikhi in university, and university became a very dark place for me, like mentally. And I would hear lines in Gurbani jithe Maharaj Ji uses the voice of like a jagyasu. Like ek ta hundi hai na jachana. That jachana ja keh do yachana with a yaya or jaja means the same thing. It's a desire. And when you want to move forward in Sikhi, but you feel like you're in a rut and your feet are stuck in quicksand and you're sinking rather than moving forward, you call to Guru Maharaj Ji. But what Maharaj Ji does is he opens up so many lines of Gurbani where if you can't find that wording, Guru Maharaj Ji gives you the wording. Such as Darsan Sant Deho Sukh Pave Prabh Loch Pur Jan Tumga. That Sache Pasha Dars Menu Dars Odi Deo Jire Tode Sant Mahatma De, because they are accomplished. They have gone across this Bhavsagar, and then they can aid me and help me. I try to reflect, because in Gurbani sometimes these people, the saints, are even mentioned as yars. Yars are, if you translate it, becomes friend, when the term friend. But sometimes friend is used in a lot of different senses. One is like mere Allah ho beli, right? That Guru Maharaj Ji is my friend. That's the ultimate friend. Then you have Paramarthi friends. meaning that take you on that supreme path towards Paramatma, that aid you along there. And then there's the Padarthi friends. The Padarthi friends are Duniya di Padarth, Hambare, Kar Vihar, all those things, the affairs of the world, they talk about it, and bas ode nahi wo khush rehande hai. The moment that you talk about Guru Sahib, wo chup ho jande hai, they don't want to listen, or they're waiting for you to end the conversation so you can move on. I honestly was looking for somebody that would help me on this path, and I know in the company of Bhai Parminder Singh ke ye je hege si jinna ne ye ardas vi kiti si, that they did an ardas that Sache Pasha kirpa karo, that our Vatavarana or our environment is not helping us and aiding us to move forward towards you. So they did an ardas, and then with Maharaji's Dayalta, with Maharaji's compassion, they were graced enough to meet Bhai Parminder Singh. And Paramatma ਉਹ ਜੇ ਰੂਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹੁਕਮ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਾਓ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਸਹਾਇਤਾ ਕਰੋ. They've received so much kirpa, those beings, such as Bhai Parminder Singh, that they become God's expression to go and help people. Meaning that they're the vessel and God's guiding them to those people to help them. And so what I was mentioning is that when I was at university, I had gone into a very dark state or dark part of my life, and it was very long bus rides and long time staying at school, and it was basically you try not to fall in these pits, but you can't help yourself, and then you can't really climb out either. And then you're left with, when that dard comes in your life, then you hook ji nikaldi hai to call to the only asra that you know, Guru Maharaji. Guru Maharaji nu beinti kiti, koi raah deo Sache Pasha. And then at the bus stand where I used to stand to come back from UBC, there was a poster that said multi-faith conference, and one of the speakers was Bhai Parminder Singh. And this was going to happen, if any of you from UBC, it happened in Heb Theatre, and to me that was my raah right there. I needed to go there. And then whatever it was, I stayed after school for quite a bit of time, and then stayed for the multi-faith conference. And that day, after listening to the speeches, it was, I think it was organized by the Ahmadiyya community. It's a firqa of Islam. But they kind of made it in a fashion that the speakers that were last would pretty much be bumped later on, and the other speakers go over time, and then it's already hit 9 o'clock, and then they're giving you a break, and the final speaker, one of the final speakers is Bhai Parminder Singh, and nobody's going to stick around for that, because now when breaks, refreshments and so forth that they had, I was thinking to myself, it's too bad that all these people that are sitting here, it was full to capacity, that they're not going to be able to come back and listen to Bhai Parminder Singh. Meanwhile, my eyes are gazing at Bhai Parminder Singh, and watching him very carefully, and he's in a deep state of meditation. Samadhi de vicha. Like time to time his head goes low, and then he picks it up again, and then it keeps going lower and lower. And I'm thinking that, mere varga hunda, that I would be trying to cycle through all this things that I'm trying to say. It's for a speaker, the right before you have to speak, you're trying to cycle. What is I'm supposed to say? But ਇਹ ਜੇ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਖ ਸੀ ਨਾ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਓਟ ਆਸਰਾ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਸੀ, ਤੇ ਜੋ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਹਾਉਣਾ ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਕਹਾ ਦੇਣਾ. So like I told you, that vessel is already full of kirpa. He just needs to open his mouth and it's going to shower out. And he didn't do a lecture. After the break, then all the sangat, they all came back. To my surprise, all of them came back, and everybody was sitting. This is now like around like 9:20 at night, and Bhai Parminder Singh goes on, and when he goes on, he's not. And this is available, I'm sure it's available where you can hear it's a human suffering and the reconciliation of God. It was that speech or the katha that he did. And the katha that he did, it went by so quickly, but every word of it hit home. And I could see that, like, you know, it made an impact on the Sangat, because where I was sitting, people started asking like more about Sikhi to me. And then I felt like, I don't know how to answer that. They're like asking me about my dastar, asking about, this is right after Bhai Parminder Singh spoke. They're asking me. And I felt so ashamed that I couldn't answer their questions. And then the urge grew inside of me that I'll go and approach him after. So in their company, I knew like a couple of Singhs. So main unhanu pehla jaake bulaun lag gaya. And then Bhai Parminder Singh, I went up to him and I wanted to say such a, like, you know, it was a good speech. I really liked it, and nothing came out. I just looked at him like this, just quietly. And then all he did is he handed me a card for Guru Nanak Academy, and he said that, make sure you come out. But the intensity of his gaze was so much that it was like going to the depth of my soul. That is like, jiਵੇਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ. Those things I can't really explain, and I don't really like I don't really know if anybody will understand, or they will say that he's just probably adding stuff on. But these were things that I felt at that time. And then before that time, I had been inspired by Sant Jarnail Singh. And I was reading, the first introduction of Sant Jarnail Singh to me was through Fighting for Faith and Nation. Cynthia Mahmood Jiri book is very popular. And I read about it, and I read about the accounts of the Jiri Singh Si, and they would say all these beautiful things about Sant Jarnail Singh. And then I would wonder like what that feels like to have like such a like Puran Purkh. Like, and then think of all those Sikhs, like, you know, how they walked behind Sant Jarnail Singh when they would do prakarma around Sri Harmandir Sahib. And then that day, after the multi-faith conference, Bhai Parminder Singh and all the Gaur Sikhs, there was a group of us, and then they all started walking, and I started thinking in my head that it looks like Sant Ji nahi tor rahe, Sant Jarnail Singh, he's walking ahead, and all these are the Gaur Sikhs that are walking. And then I was so blessed to be in that company, but then I realized something, and it wasn't just then, it was a reflection. And ਉਹ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਵਿਚਾਰ reflection, there's a ਮਾਈ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇੱਕ ਬਿਮਲ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੈ, ਬਿਮਲ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੋਵੇ, a contemplation or a reflection that is such that it removes mal inside of you. That's ਬਿਮਲ, ਬਿਮਲ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੈ. ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇਵਾਂਗਾ example, like ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੱਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਵਈਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ when they do ਉਸਤਤ of Sri Guru Angad Dev Ji, they say drum sapur jion nive khave kas bimal bichar hai. He says this is a beautiful bichar. If you look at the life of Guru Angad Dev Ji, and you realize, just like a tree, just like Panji was mentioning about the tree analogy, that just like a tree, when it grows and then on its sakha or branches, it gains fruit. The fruit are heavy. So what happens is the branches lower down. Drum means tree. Drum sapur, ਜਦੋਂ ਭਰ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਫਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, then that it lowers down. And it lowers down so the people can reach it, so they can gain something from it. And I was saying to you that he was a vessel of kirpa, and that kirpa, it was being handed out from him to help us along the path. And that those kind of vichars, if you look into the Guru's lives and Pailana Ji and how he did seva for Guru Nanak Dev Ji, what happens is then that actually releases so much mal of previous janams away from you. So what happened is at that time, when I was walking behind by Parminder Singh, I noticed something that I'm like, ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜੋ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਸੀਬ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ, that we were walking behind ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸੰਤ ਜੀ ਹੋਵੇ and we're walking behind him, but ਚਲੋ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਈ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ, and it was a ਵਿਚਾਰ, and ਮਾਰ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਕੀਤੀ, and that was that he doesn't need any of us. He himself ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਰ ਹੋ ਗਏ. And what I saw was, as we were all walking with him, a bunch of us, had to go to the bus loop. Some of us had our cars parked other places, but he kept walking forward. And then I saw him. He's walking in the same gati, the same shali, the same gait as he was with all of us. And now he's walking alone. And that's how he was, because he did have somebody with him. And that's what I want everybody to realize, is that lie chasme, that chasme kende jis tarah anka nahi hundiyan, oh ਇਹ ਜੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ, that it brings clarity. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਜੀ ਚਸ਼ਮੇ ਲਾਓ ਜਹ ਤਹਾਂ ਮੌਜੂਦ, that God is with you. God was always with him, ਮੌਜੂਦਗੀ. He was always in presence of Paramatma with him. So there was that nischa. What is nischa anyways? Nischa, I was trying to find the perfect word for it, and I was like, certainty and then certitude. Certitude means an attitude of certainty. That nischa means that you take steps after you discern what is wrong from what is right. And when you find the right, then what happens is you place firm steps because you believe this is the path. We don't have that certainty in our life. That comes from discernment. What is discernment? Is vivek. That when you find what the truth is of what to do, and you move away from the false. And when you find what the real facts are, and you move away from the assumptions. He was the one that was walking forward, and it didn't matter to him if there were thousands following him or nobody following him. It's because Guru Maharaj was with him. He would go a couple of times to California to do a prachar feri. And at those times, what I saw was that, and I even heard that sometimes he would go to a Guru Ka and said that, can I do katha here? And they said that, go ahead, but there's no sangat. And he says, that's all right. He would still do katha. And then it doesn't change if there's thousands of people or there's one person. He knows Guru Maharaj is listening. Naseeb karde si Gursikh. Sare naseeb karde si. They had that drive. Bhai Charanjit Singh had that drive. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਈ ਮਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ that they were students of Bhai Charanjit Singh. He passed on those virtues that he had to those students as well. And then I had an opportunity. He was the first start for me to learning katha. ਜਿਹੜੇ Bhai Parminder Singh would say that ਤੁਸੀਂ katha ਸਿੱਖਣੀ ਹੈ to me. And I would say that, no, I'm a party, and I would say those kind of things. And I never saw that. ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਕੋਈ ਬੋਲਣ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਬਣੂਗਾ that or anybody would want to listen. And then, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਮਹਾਂਪੁਰਸ਼ਾਂ ਦੇ ਬਚਨ ਸੀ. And then on the second thing was that Bhai Charanjit Singh was responsible for teaching katha. And what he did was that he opened up the prasang. He said Guru Nanak Prakash will come to after, but we'll start from the prasang of how from Guru Angad Dev Ji on. Oh prasang Gur Pratap Suraj Granth de vichon, and the pehla prasang is from Baba Budya's lineage to Baba Gurbaksh Singh, or ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੁਣਦੇ Baba Ram Kaur. And ਉਹ ਵੀ ਪੂਰਨ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨੀ ਸੀ. And when you hear about him, when we were pretty annoying too as students, we had a couple, it was just a Singh and me, and we would do it. We were pretty annoying. Like every line we were asking, what does this mean? What does this mean? What does this mean? Bhai Charanjit Singh was so patient, right? And not a lot of people knew that he was a Kathavachak as well too. He even showed a little certificate that he had with him, that Dam Dami Tiksal, the Kathavachak by Charanjit Singh. And we would just pick apart every line, just one line. We'd be picking it apart. It took us, for the first prasang, took us very long just to get through. And by Charanjit Singh, that first prasang, which was opening up at the life of Baba Gurbaksh Singh or Baba Ram Kaur, that you see the nishani of what a Brahmgyani is. You see a person who's moved past their body. And there would be this little glimmer in Bhai Charanjit Singh's eyes, because he enjoyed sanaying that prasang, regardless of how annoying we were as students. And he enjoyed it. And what I thought to myself is that, Sant Baba Darshan Singh Takki Wale, he had time to do sangat with them. And then he had time to do sangat with Sant Baba Thakur Singh. And then he had time to do sangat with Bhai Parminder Singh. How fortunate, and how in a life that at such a young age, he's been able and been in the sangat of so many Mahapurukhs, that he has been guided, and he has that ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਵਿਰਾਗ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੀ ਭਾਈ ਚਰਨਜੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ. Sometimes even ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਮਰੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ he would be thinking about Hari Singh Nalua, and ਪੱਖਾ ਘੁੰਮੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ. He would be lying down and he's thinking that ਕਦੇ ਮੌਕਾ ਬਣੂਗਾ ਰਨ ਖੇਤਰ on the ਮੈਦਾਨੇ ਜੰਗ, on the battlefield ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੂਝਣਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਦੇ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੀ, that prowess. He had that courageousness in his eyes. And when one time at Gurdwara Dashmesh Darbar, there was a Gatka, the Guru Nanak Academy, and I think it was some of the students from Khalsa school, they were doing a Gatka demonstration. Menu camera frata si, menu na khichna honda si, jime aaj our program it took a good 10 minutes for me to get on. I was walking around first time trying to take snaps of Bhai Charanjit Singh. But when you take a camera, you're trying to find that picture, like that moment, right? And with Bhai Charanjit Singh, he's so, you want to capture his eyes. That what those students saw at that time was that he wouldn't hold back against them. He would make them feel, yet he would hold back enough that you would try to test them and move them forward. But those eyes, when they would open up and they would go at the students all know, and they probably can, a picture of it is coming inside of their head. But I was trying to capture it on camera. And then I pretty much failed at the pictures. But then after Marji di Kripana, a lot of them turned out. And that a memory stills of him have come alive. And those people use those photos, but it was trying to capture that. And that's what we try to do. We try to gain that inspiration from our beloved being Paramatma, and these people being beloved by Paramatma. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਹੁਣ ਭਾਈ ਭਗੀਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੇਵੀ ਦੀ ਆਰਾਧਨਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਸੀ, he did such ustat. If you read in Guru Nanak Prakash, ਇੰਨੀ ustat ਕੀਤੀ, and ਫਿਰ ਬੇਹੋਸ਼ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਡਿੱਗ ਪਿਆ. And ਦੇਵੀ ਪ੍ਰਗਟ ਹੋ ਕੇ, when the Devi came about, the Devi said that ਜਾਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਸੁਖ, ਮਾਫ ਕਰਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਸੁਖ ਨਹੀਂ ਭਾਈ ਭਗੀਰਥ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇ ਸਕਦੀ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਓ ਸੁਲਤਾਨਪੁਰ. And there in Sultanpur, Bhai Bhagirath comes, and there's a lineup of people at Jithion Gurdwara Modi Khana, at that Guru Asthan, Uthe Hatundi si, Modi Khana, and then Uthe Guru Maharaji would be giving out rations to all the lineups. And here comes Bhai Bhagirath. Picture this. He comes and starts doing Dandot to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And everybody in line is wondering why he's doing that. Kyunki ਉਹਨੂੰ ਭੇਦ ਮਿਲ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ that ਇਹ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਸਰੂਪ. And then from his nischa, his certitude. What happened is, ਜਦੋਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਭਾਈ ਮਰਦਾਨੇ ਦੀ daughter ਦੀ ਵਿਆਹ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਆ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਲੈ ਆਓ, ਇਸ ਦੁਕਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਪਰ ਸ਼ਰਤ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੁਕਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ। ਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਖੀ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ। ਭਾਈ ਭਗੀਰਥ would go, he would meet ਭਾਈ ਮਨਸੁਖ, who was the jeweler or the person who was going to get the saman to Bhai Pagir to bring back to Sultanpur. And he sees the nischa of Bhai Pagir, and he would become a Gursikh and want to accompany him. Dekho sangat da phal, right? One touches Guru Maharaj Ji and his nischa parpak ho janda. Now he goes and touches another, and then that person wants to come back with Guru Maharaj Ji. And he comes by Mansukh, and he becomes a Gursikh. Now he's a Vapari, so what he has to do is he takes his ship and he goes to Sangaladeep, Sri Lanka, and he meets with Raja Shivnab there, and he sees his nischa and Oparpak ho janda. Meanwhile, Bhai Pagir's son, he sees the nischa in his father, and what happens is he becomes a pakka Shraddhalu of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And when he was doing bhakti out in the jungles and meditating on Guru Maharaj Ji, what happens is one time a teer comes and hits him. A teer, it comes and hits him, and he passes out. Next thing, he finds himself in a Raj Mahal, and the person who struck that teer into him mistakenly thought he was some animal or koi bagyar hoga or something, and it was a princess, and she, living a very pampered life, had gone out to hunt, and she shot an arrow in the palace, mended him, and then all she would hear in the first jion behosh si ode mukho fer vi Vaheguru kebri likle aunda si. And then she would be mesmerized by that Guru Mantra. And देखो हुन प्यारे दे प्यारे, इस आखी दा नाम ही भाई वीर सिंह ने लिखिया प्यारे दे प्यारे। मैं इहदे बारे पूरी विचार दे विच नहीं जाना. I want you guys to actually read upon it. But those beloved by Paramatma become beloved by the people that want to get to Paramatma. And that's how we looked at Jime Bibi Reena Kaur. I wanted to know who Bibi Reena Kaur was. I didn't know her as closely while she was here, Mawjood on the earth. So after, I would go to her house and meet with her parents. And those parents too, wherever you come to Surrey, meet these parents of Bibi Reena Kaur. They are just amazing, Ruha. The father is just the most humblest being. And you go into the house. ਹੁਣ ਤੇ ਚਲੋ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਵੇਚ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੀਬੀ ਰੀਨਾ ਕੋਲ ਅਭਿਆਸ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸੱਚ ਦੱਸਦਾ, ਤੁਸੀਂ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਉੱਥੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮੌਕਾ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਪਰ ਚਲੋ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਘਰ ਵੇਚ ਦਿੱਤਾ, ਪਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਜੇ ਮਨ ਮਾਰ ਜੇ ਟਕਾ ਲਓ ਨਾ, ਆਏ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਧੁਨਾਂ ਮਿਲਦੀਆਂ ਕੰਧਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਬੀਬੀ ਰੀਨਾ ਕੌਰ ਨੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਰਾਤ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ। ਇਹ ਜੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰੂਹਾਂ, you remember those kind of people, then ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਤੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪਿਆਰਾ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਪਤੀ ਚੇਤੇ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ, right? That's that yar what I was talking about. The yar has 2 words in it, yad and pyar. When you take yad and pyar and you put it together, you have yar. You have yar. And your first desire is yachna karni. That oh menu yar mil je menu ek. The Maharji bhi kende hai, sun yaar hamare sajjan ek nanti yaar तिस मोहन लाल प्यारे हो फिरो खोजंतिया हो फिरों खो जंतियां, हो फिरों खो जंतियां. And then when you meet that friend, you want to call to that friend and say that I've been looking for Paramatma my whole life. Can you help me? Even Guru Arjan Dev Ji says about these saintly beings that Bhag hoa Gur Sant Malaya, because they'll aid you, Prabh Avanasi Kar Mein Paya, that they will aid you. Just Baba Buddha Ji and Bhai Gurdas Ji brought Guru Arjan Dev Ji back from Lahore to Sri Amritsar Sahib. Ejana baith ke Bhai Nand Lal has said, Ah hajum mein khush ke behre yaad ost. The ejana baith ke inna changa sade li. To sit with those kind of beings, it's so good for us. Then what happens? That ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੁਨਿਆਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਬਾਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਯਾਦ ਆਊਗਾ. That ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਆਊਗੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦਿਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. That you'll remember ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ. ਹਜੂਮੇ means ਜਦੋਂ ਇਕੱਤਰ ਹੁੰਨੇ ਆ, ਖੁਸ਼, ਚੰਗਾ ਹੈ, ਬਹਿਰੇ ਯਾਦ ਉਸਤ. ਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਯਾਦ ਆ ਜੂਗੀ. ਪਰ ਅਗਲੀ ਪੰਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਲਿਖਿਆ, ਆਜੂ ਮੈਂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਿ ਹੱਕ ਬੁਨਿਆਦ ਉਸਤ. ਤੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਹਾਂਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਹੋਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਦਾ. ਮੈਂ ਭਾਈ ਨੰਦ ਲਾਲ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਨਾਮਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੈਠੋਗੇ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ, ਜੇ ਅਗਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਵੀ ਬੈਠੋਗੇ, then now what you will form is a foundation, a structure ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਯਾਦ ਕਾਇਮ ਰਹੇ, that how it can stay intact. Because what happens is when we do simran and we do sangat, that when Maya starts attacking, it starts to crumble. Our structure to hold Marji's yad. We go to work, it starts to crumble. But sitting in sangat and remembering these beings, that drive, that passion, that gives daim forever. That eh bandagi hai. That Guru Maharaj Ji had said that ਲਾਏ ਚਸ਼ਮੇ ਜਹ ਤਹਾਂ ਮੌਜੂਦ. that ਉਹ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਕਰੋ ਆਪਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੈਗਾ. ਇਹ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ. ਇਹ ਨਿਸ਼ਚਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀ. ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਢਿੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਤਮ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਆ. There's one line that ਭਾਈ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ, ਜਦੋਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸੰਡੇ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਦਸ਼ਮੇਸ਼ ਦਰਬਾਰ. ਮੈਂ ਬਸ ਹੁਣ ਥੋੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ ਚਿਰ 'ਚ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ ਕਰ ਦੇਣੀ ਹੈ. ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਦਸ਼ਮੇਸ਼ ਦਰਬਾਰ, I would hear him. There was one line of Gurbani. He knew Gurbani ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਠ ਸੀ ਭਾਈ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੇ. But one line always would come, time to time. And I'll quote it to you. फरमान तेरा सिरा ऊपर फिर ना करत विचार. And ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ ਸੀ ਨਾ ਭਾਈ ਪਰਮਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ. ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਨਾ, feel the presence of Paramatma. And one is when Maharaj gives you hukum, right? Farman. When that Farman of Paramatma comes, of how to execute your life, or the hukumnama from Guru Granth Sahib Ji, then Farman tera sire upar, that I place it on my head, and fir na karat vichar. I don't question it. The other vichar is to understand it. And then there's one vichar that ruins a person. That is skepticism. Right? That's one thing that we need to remove. In this world that we live, there's a lot of skepticism. Wondering about things, not believing in certain things. Guru Maharaj, in our ਇਤਿਹਾਸ ਜਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਹੋਵੇ. But ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪੁਰਾਤਨਤਾ ਨਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹ ਕਾਇਮ ਸੀ. ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਰੂਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦਸਤੀ ਸੀ. And that's the drive that hopefully those people people that are listening right now can see in their faces hopefully a little bit of a glimmer from what I've discussed, that you can see that and bring it about in your life, right? It's a discernment about removing jiri hegi hai na jhoot and seeing what the such is. Oh gurbani de naal hi hundi hai, and oh gurbani te nishcha rakhte si. They had faith, right? Out of that faith grew that certitude that what Guru Maharaj is doing, he's with me. So inna kenda khema da jachaka, I've made mistakes while talking. You know, I'm not more of a just going through the memoirs, understanding menu hegi si about what I saw. I could share more with you, but main sama bhi thoda je upar ho gaya hona, and main shuru bhi magron kita si na thoda je. So khima da ja chaka. Hopefully all of you feel inspired on this day by these three Gurmukhs, and bring about something in your life that you can inspire others as well too, because we have a lot of things that you can say it's a flood of Maya that comes our way, and then we get washed away. But it's a matter of just keep getting up and moving forward, and Maharaj, you'll see that, right? You're yatan that you keep going forward and you're not turning away, because kende jime Maya, right? Maya ਤਾਂ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਊਗੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਰਛਾਵਾਂ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਲੰਦੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ. But if you turn the other way and you turn your back to the sun, then your shadow will be before you, which is just as an analogy of how Maya is in this life as well. Keep your face towards Guru Maharaj Ji and being inspired by Guru Maharaj Ji's pyare de pyare, and oh yar, and they aid. And the last thing I'll say is that small sangat, even small sangat, it'll have a deep impact. I know sometimes we feel like, oh, this is our sangat, we're talking with people back and forth, but Guru di gal ta kade aaundi nahi, right? We'll be laughing and joking about stuff, and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਚਲੋ ਹਾਂ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਆ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, and ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇਹੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਹੈ, and we refer to him as sangat. But sangat is those that instill the yad of Paramatma inside of you, that you feel that this is somebody that has now connected me, that after you listen to them, that you feel like wanting to do kirtan and doing simran. It's all right to talk about Paramatma with others, even if you don't have a vast knowledge. Talk about just a sakhi that, yes, I'm sure that people that are aware of it already, you might feel that, oh, why do I sana some sakhi to them that they already know? No, jime hone the hai for even person who knows katha, if they have true love, just like Baba Thakur Singh, he heard Suraj Prakash 7 times, the same sakhya, right? Because there is sakhya, ode vich sikhya, and ode vich hi pyar. That you take off the parde of sakhya and you get so much of a treasure chest inside, just to hear from somebody else's rasna, because they have a different perspective and different view of how they saw it, but they saw it with the same angle that you could say is with pyar, and that you can hear it in a new in different words from the same person of the same sakhi. So that's what it is. Now we're reflecting on the Guru Sikh's lives, and each of those people that got to do sangat with them, they all have different stories, and they all have things hopefully that can inspire you about them and learning about their lives. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ ਉਸਤਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. ਸੋ ਇਸੇ ਕਾਰਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਐਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਪਮਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਵੇ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਉਸਤਤ ਆ, ਉਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਐਂਡ ਉਹੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ, ਐਂਡ ਉਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦੀ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਮਾਇਆ ਜੀ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਇਸ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਜਿਹੜੇ that inspire